We are streaming live.
Your last offering was adequate.
Okay, and the
All right.
channel is live, so hello everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Dungeons and
Yeah!
Dragons!
Yay! So, I'm Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Jenny Meltzer as Zaleen,
Hey guys.
Mark Kilfoyle as Nedry Shiny Rock,
I wonder if we can get a stocking of holding.
Chooch Schubert with the, I just realized we got you guys in the wrong places. Switch.
Uh-oh.
Body swap. Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn.
Good evening.
And Chooch Schubert as Sequential.
Hello, hello.
And we are awaiting Starla Hutchton as Carolina Swift. She will join us at some point as soon as she can. But in the meantime, we have a game to play. So, last time on So Many Levels, the Pocket Protectors continue to explore this magical observatory slash super weapon slash dungeon, trying to figure out the ins and outs of how this place works, what it was used for, and what the next steps should be. You've been dealing with some various environmental hazards. You've discovered that there is currently a damaged facility for the construction of midnight stones that in its current state is producing a lot of hazardous waste. And you have discovered an extremely powerful, you would call it a geothermal plant, except that rather than using energy from deep within the planet, it's using energy channeled through a planar rift from the elemental plane of fire, except that that's not working quite right either, and you're trying to get to the bottom of all of this. And where we last left you all was walking over, oh, well, here, let me just go ahead and pull it up on the map. Walking over a big pool of boiling water and various pipes and gizmos and turbines and so on. And as you were walking through this area, preparing to enter a door that Sequential had previously been told by his creator to never go through, you discovered a disturbance in the water, and that's where we cliffhangered. So we're going to begin tonight by rolling initiative. While y'all do that, I'm going to put everyone in the right spots on this screen too.
And I can run Evan again tonight, if that helps.
That'd be great. Does someone want to run Carolina while we wait for Starla?
I can.
Okay, great. Okay. So, I did actually go ahead and roll initiative for Evan and Carolina already. So they are already on the turn tracker, and when everybody is ready, we will begin.
Good.
Are Evan's hit points correct on the token?
I suspect, I believe they are. Yes, I don't recall who was controlling him last time or where we left, but I think so.
Wasn't it Mark?
It was me, but I didn't know if I had changed them on this map, because I think I had changed them on the previous map.
Yeah, I believe so. We'll say that they are.
Okay. He's tough.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're still waiting for Zinhorn's initiative.
I put it in. I had 2.
Okay. Well, it's blank in there, but now we've got it. So let's move on through putting that in order. So we've got Evan up first, but at this point, I don't think he actually is in a position to have really been aware anything is happening yet. I think he was getting ready to, follow you all into that room, so he could probably do that. But as he moves into this room, he also would become aware that there seems to be something moving around in the water, and yet what you're mostly seeing is some kind of a translucent disturbance in the water that you can't really see, like a shape there, as much as it's clear that something is causing the water to be like swirling and gooshing around. So we could have Evan like move further in, and you can decide if you want to have him respond. But that's really all that would be happening so far for him.
Whoa, it's warm. This room is very warm, and I sense a disturbance in the water. That's about it.
Yep.
I know that it was last week, but we were playing with the map, and I could have swore that I was down here by the door.
I moved some tokens around a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that was where I left you. Oh, it just happened. The lighting just broke on my screen here. I might have to reset the map a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Only Evan can see now. He is the omnipotential god.
Yeah,
He's the one.
this is the pros and cons of using these fancy features of Roll20 is that I turned on Explorer mode and it breaks everything. So let me just reset that really quickly. But in any case, certainly Zaleen and Evan can move on into the water, into that room. But let's not belabor too much what position you are standing in. That's not the point.
Yeah, I will just move down here. Like, I thought I was like over here where I don't even know who's in that crevice, but it doesn't matter.
Nedry's in the kind of the T junction there.
Yeah.
I picked up and dropped his token, and suddenly I could see a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Only Evan can see clearly. It's the outsider perspective.
So if those of you playing cannot currently see it properly, let me know. Because I fixed it on my screen, but I need you to be able to see it too. It's the whole.
Yeah,
It's-
room looks
it's-
normal to me.
Yeah,
I can see
only
all the tokens. And
the space around Evan looks perfectly clear. The space around Nedry is just fog, very, very vaguely visible, like no light there at all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it is
Well,
for
you
me
need.
too.
Okay. All right.
explore the room.
Yeah.
What should fix it is if you log out of Roll20 and log back in, but otherwise, that's what I need you to do.
Okay. Reloading the page is enough,
Yeah,
or
I
actual.
don't know. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll try it.
I'm sorry. This is exactly, not that I want this to be what our actual play is about, but this is exactly why I am hesitant every time I try to turn on a new feature in Roll20.
Okay.
No worries.
I just refreshed the page and it's back to normal.
Okay. Yes, that hopefully should help.
Yes, that worked for me too.
Okay, great. So, Zaleen, you just moved in? Are you doing anything else?
Yep, I'm just gonna stand here next to Nedry.
Okay.
What is it?
We can't see it. It's like
Something is moving in the water, but you look down and all you're seeing is the water moving around like something's pushing it around, but you don't see anything in there.
Can I hold an Eldritch Blast in case it like leaps out and attacks anybody?
Yes.
Okay, I will do that.
All right. Nedry.
I'm going to be very careful and cautious, and I'm going to spend my time hopping around on foot to foot while trying to observe this thing. So I'm going to take the dodge action formally and then just kind of watch and wait.
Okay. Like, you guys can do things like try to look closer and stuff like that, as your actions. You don't have to just wait.
Oh.
But
Okay, I thought you said when we looked we didn't see anything, but he can definitely go to...
Okay.
Sorry, my mistake.
Okay. What I had described to you was what alerted you to the fact that there is anything. If you want to look closer, you can, but you have to in order to see anything more.
Then he would do exactly the opposite and walk to the edge and peer over.
There you go. Okay, so make a perception check.
Perception. Someday I'll be better at that. I am not today. I don't know. I think it's just the water.
Your glasses fog up from all the steam.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hot in here.
It is. It definitely is. So, alas, yeah, your that check did not help you very much. So, sequential. I think you were just about looking at that door. But then
Yeah,
you heard
I'm
this
looking at the
splooshing
door,
behind
so
you.
I'm gonna get closer to it and see if it's locked.
It
Give it a
is locked.
wiggle, and I'll start picking it.
Okay. You can make a thieves' tools check.
All right, so let's see. That's so it's basically sleight of hand, but I add another 3, right? Yeah. Boink. 19.
A 21. That is
So a
pretty good.
22, or yeah.
Well,
No,
okay.
another 3. So, yeah,
Okay.
24.
Well, yeah, so that's very good then. So I
Good
think
either
what
way.
you discover is that not only is there a mundane lock here, but there does appear to be an arcane lock spell cast on it. However, you are able, with your skills and your tools, to scratch away at a piece of the rune on there, disrupting the spell, and you are able to unlock and open the door, if assuming that you open it.
Yes. Go ahead and open it. I mean, doesn't seem like any real reason not to.
Okay, so that is what sequential does. Carolina, we're going to have Starla here imminently, so that's good. But what do we have Carolina do in the meantime? Who is running Carolina?
I thought Chooch
Oh,
was.
that was me. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's standing there. They're not really perceiving, or they think something's up, and
Yeah.
she's not really the kind to go looking over the thing. So I don't get that impression. So she'll
Yeah, the vibe that I
sing
want
one of
everyone
her
to
songs.
have, just to be clear, is trash compactor scene in Star Wars before they've seen the little eyeball, right? Something's moving around in the water, you just can't see it, or you have not yet in any case.
Right. So yeah, she'll probably say like, "Did you see anything, Nedry?" And just
Not
in
yet.
case, go ahead and give him the bardic inspiration tune.
Oh, very nice.
Are you going to sing?
I am not.
Okay.
I don't have the. Yeah, I would if I don't have the lyrics in front of me.
All right. So, as you're all down there, you hear the sound, more of this sort of splooshing sound, and then some kind of sticky squelching coming from the underside of this catwalk that you're on above the pool, and then all of a sudden, a strange translucent tentacle rises up around the catwalk and starts slamming at all of your feet. Carolina is going to get one, and Nedry's going to get one. So,
Can I unleash my Eldritch Blast?
yes. Like you're
Okay.
still going to get this zap, but you're able to get the blast off.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, I usually you only get one attack action. Like, if you have multi-attack, extra attack, you still only do one with a reaction. But I think Eldritch Blast is one action spell. It just go ahead and do your spell as usual.
Oh, okay. So I can roll twice?
Well, roll what your Eldritch Blast would usually do.
Okay. It's 2 times. Okay, so
Asked me 2 times.
25 for the first one. And,
Those both do hit.
okay.
As the you blast away at little bits of this tentacle, and it does seem to, to reel a little bit from the impact of those force blasts, but it is not ultimately that dissuaded. It gets a 12 to hit against you, Carolina. I think her AC is higher than that, though. Chooch?
Sorry. It's 17.
Okay, yeah. I always forget her AC is. I think we need to remember that her AC is that high because she's got a shield, and we need to remember that she needs to be holding that shield and all that. But in any case,
Yeah.
um, so that misses. But against you, Nedry, it's a 19 to hit.
Shield. So it makes
Okay.
me a 20.
All right. So as this little translucent tentacle, it splats against this your arcane shield and is repelled. And then Zaleen, one more is coming up around you. It's a bigger, thicker one. Like it's not just sort of like a flailing tendril, but it's a little bit almost more like a big pseudopod with almost like a little pincer on the end of it.
Okay.
And it gets, ooh, that's pretty good. 26 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
Wowza.
Just kidding. Yeah, definitely hits. Really hard.
Okay, so you're going to take 22 bludgeoning damage.
Holy.
And so this thing is under the catwalk, technically. And all of you watch as this little pseudopod grabs Zaleen, pulls her off of the catwalk and underneath the underneath. So you basically see her yanked over the railing
Oof.
and disappear. But
Well, she's gone now.
You don't hear a splash though. But Zaleen, yeah, you are suddenly absorbed into some kind of a translucent ooze. It's still very hot. You are so what you're aware of though now is that this thing is clinging to the underside of this catwalk above the boiling water, but it's only a couple of feet clearance.
Okay.
Okay, so that's exciting right off the bat. Zinhorn.
I am going to close an attack with my spear. Is there some part of it that I can actually stab with my freezing drill spear?
No, because although I'm showing it here on the map just to indicate its location, it is on the underside. So at least it is not accessible to just stab. You're going to have to figure out some other way.
How far down is the water from the catwalk?
From the floor that you're standing on, it's 10 feet down.
And I'm not good enough at flying to hover.
No, certainly not above the this boiling water.
Boiling water,
Welcome,
no.
Starla. So just so you're aware, the translucent slime monster has just pulled Zaleen over the railing to absorb her into itself, and you're all above a pool of boiling water. So,
Other than losing Zaleen, we're doing terribly.
And
I'm
Lynn
not
has
dead
used
yet,
one.
so.
Lynn has used one bardic inspiration, which I could not mark on the sheet.
Okay. So I have one left.
all right. Now we have
So
everyone in place. So Zinhorn, yeah, flying. I would let you try to fly, but basically you would be aware, extremely hazardous. A roll would be involved. A failing roll could result in you plunging into boiling water.
Yep. All right. So I made it 30 feet to here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I lean down and stab under the catwalk with my spear?
I would let you make an attack with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Oh, it's worth trying. All right. I'm doing the thing. It's not letting me. There we go.
All right, so a
Did that-
17 is actually a hit.
Okay.
So go ahead and do your damage.
And this is larger than man size?
It is a large creature, yes.
Okay. So I got 6 points of damage.
All right.
I can use a bonus action to activate the drill, which does an additional 2d6 piercing damage.
Sweet.
Seems like a good time for it.
It certainly does. An extra 6 points of damage.
All right. And as it drills in and embeds itself in the creature.
All right, and I'm gonna start trying to pull it up top.
Yeah, so that's a good question because, yeah, I think normally the expectation for that item is that you're like, you stab it in and it like sticks there and it's like stuck in them, as opposed
Right.
to like you holding on to it still. Because it's bigger than you and pretty strong, but you can give it a shot if you want.
Okay. It also says that once it embeds itself in the target, it starts draining all the heat from everything in its vicinity. So on the target's turn, it may use its action to remove the spear, taking an extra 1d6. But for every turn the spear stays embedded, it will take another 2d6 cold damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So what I'll say is, if you want to try to like pull on it,
Yeah.
I think the nature of this creature is such that you would not pull the creature with it. It's kind of like a blob. It's like a slime. So you would pull
Okay.
the spear out before you would pull the creature.
All right. Well, then I'm going to leave it embedded.
Okay. Do you hold on to it or do you let it go?
Oh, yeah. I hold on to it. I don't want to lose
Okay.
it in the boiling
Yeah, I
water.
was just gonna say. Okay, great. So on its turn, it'll take that cold damage.
Yep.
All right, Evan's turn now.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Can't really see it from there. Where did it go? Where did it
I think, yeah, he would have seen Zaleen get pulled off like right here, and then just saw where Zinhorn was stabbing at it.
Okay. He's gonna pull out the I don't think he can get all the way there. No, he can't. Oh, whoops. Oh, wow. Everything went dark. Let's see. Distance is 30. Yeah, he's going to move up closer and see if he moves over here. Is it a floating catwalk? Is that what I'm meant to interpret? Or are there pylons underneath?
It's got supports, but it's not. It's not like magically floating. This
Okay.
is a constructed, supported metal catwalk.
So I think he'll go over kind of right by where. Actually, just
It
on
does
the
not
other
have supports below it, if that's what you mean. It is supported from above.
Okay. Kind of go over just beyond where Nedry is and kind of lean over to see if you can get a shot underneath the
I think he would have to
catwalk?
like lay down on his, like he'd have to go prone and like lean his arm down around. But
Yeah.
he could do it that way.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll try to do.
That's going to be another attack with disadvantage though, because of the awkward position.
Okay. I almost got it. Where's the friggin' 13.
Okay, a 13
Twang.
just hits.
Oh, 5
Yeah.
piercing.
Yeah, all
I
right.
got it.
Yeah, so I think certainly Zinhorn and Evan, as they bend down and get a better look at this thing, you do see a large-sized, like, soupy, translucent, clear ooze with all sorts of swirling, roiling tentacles, but also Zaleen kind of, like, pressed into the fetal position within its bulk, as it has absorbed her. All right, Zaleen, you're in a tight spot.
Can I breathe?
I wouldn't recommend it. You are not taking, so it is extremely hot in there. You get the feeling that if you're still in there when it has its turn, you're gonna take some more damage as a result. But you're not taking it at this time. But yeah, obviously, you are absorbed into a big slime, also suspended above boiling water. It's not great.
Oh, I'm going to use my last breath to cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay. I think you're able to easily touch it. All right. So, with a 15, you definitely hit, and you did 29 necrotic damage. Is that right?
Yes.
That is pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah,
But is it enough?
it is enough for it to go bleh, and barf you out, and you are about to be barfed out into the boiling water. But if you would like to try to do something about that, let me know.
Am I like airborne when it barfs me out?
You feel what I'm giving you is a moment to react as you feel it about to sort of just object you into, like, it pulled you down off the railing, but you're now currently being held up above the water, and you feel it
Okay,
about to spit you out.
I'm gonna clutch my key and pray to the Mistress of the Dark to give me the dexterity to get back onto the platform.
Okay. Well, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
15.
15. I think that with a 15, you just barely managed to get a hand on the edge. Like, you feel it, like it doesn't eject you sort of all at once. You're just sort of almost being like slowly like bleh, and you're just like scrambling, and you manage to just you're hanging by one hand. This is the metal is very hot. This is not a sustainable position, but you are also not currently immersed in boiling water. Good for you.
Yay.
So, good job, Zaleen. Nedry, you are up. Zaleen is hanging by one hand above a pool of boiling water.
Okay, that's not good. Yeah.
Here, let's put you
How
more like
far
right there.
away is way over there? Is it?
What's the
How
question?
far, like, from the edge is she? From the edge of the top part.
She's hanging from the edge. Like,
Okay.
how far from the edge is she? She is at the edge. She's hanging from the edge.
I didn't know if she was like being held in the middle or picked up on the middle of the platform. Okay.
I'm 9 feet away
She's hanging from
you,
the edge.
Okay. Nidri's gonna go over to the edge. This is going to help, but you're on your own. And can I touch her?
Yeah, well, she can touch her hand for sure.
Yep. I cast Fly on her.
Whoa! That'll definitely help.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
And then I'm going to back away.
Thank you.
Okay. That makes it Sequential's turn. A lot has just happened behind you. Since you picked that lock,
right.
Sequential.
Oh, well, they'll run on out.
I have to keep reloading the map because
Yeah, each time I change rooms, it it goes gray, and then I have to refresh. Interesting. But so, lots of people are looking under the thing. So,
I mean, I think from there you have the line of sight. You can see that there's a big blob clinging to the underside of the railing.
Then I will.
Also, like Zaleen is no longer hanging; she's kind of floating, but she's down there also, just a few feet above the water.
Cool. Get the swirly hypnotic eyes with a skull in it and do the cause fear, which is a feat, and make it to a saving throw.
Okay.
Cause fear.
What saving throw is
which
it?
is Wisdom 15.
Okay. Well, sorry, I have to re-roll that. Cocked. Oh, it got a 16.
Right on.
Yeah.
So no effect whatsoever.
Yeah. I think you find that it seems to have a pretty solid sort of predator type awareness that makes it difficult to
Mhm.
intimidate. Also, not really a face. There's not like a lot, it's hard to make eye contact with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
and then that's it. Yeah.
All right. And then next is Carolina. Make your own turn this time.
Okay. Just trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay.
Mhm.
So can I see the blob thingy that had
mean,
Zaleen?
Not from where you are, because as you see on this map, this
Mm.
represents its location on the underside of the catwalk that you are on top of.
Okay.
So it's just representing its location, but like from where you are, you wouldn't be able to see it. I mean, you saw where its like tentacles reached up around, but
Okay. Most of the stuff I need line of sight. So 1, 2, 5. I think that's I have 5, 30 or 40. 30. Okay. So from there, if I go with there, I should be able to see it. I know something grabbed her.
Mhm.
So I'm going to use Mind Sliver.
okay.
That is Intelligence 15 saving
All
throw.
right. Intelligence, like it has that predator cunning, not so much with the intelligence. Let's see how it goes. So it rolled a 15, but then it's -3, so 12.
7 points.
Okay.
And it has to roll a d4
Mm-hmm.
before the end of my next turn and subtract that number from a saving throw.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it quivers in a way resembling a Jello mold that has just been given really bad news.
Bad news
Okay.
is you're a jello mold.
Well, I mean, it's always been a Jello mold. It's that's not news, right?
Self-realization can really hurt.
Well, yeah, could be. So in any case, it is its turn now, and it is frustrated. I think Zaleen, you are currently flying, but you are not. You've not moved out of its reach yet, so it is going to try to make one slam attack against you. It gets a 19 to hit. Okay, and that's where's my d8s? It's going to be 11 bludgeoning damage.
I'm going to use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. Makes a dexterity saving throw, I believe. Gets pretty good.
But it does subtract from that.
that's
DC
right.
14.
Let's see. So yeah, I think it even with the D4, it rolled a natural 18 and it would be +1. So with a 19, so with the D4, it only puts it back down to 18. So does it take half though? I think it does.
Half, yep.
All right. So it does take half of that.
Half of 27.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I think its other tentacle slam goes up at. Oh, you know what? It's going to take that freezing damage because it doesn't think to take the spear out. So it's go ahead and it's 2d6, I think, Zinhorn. Roll that.
2d6, yep.
Yeah. It's going to take a tentacle slam at you, Zinhorn.
11 points of damage.
Nice.
Nice.
It gets a 23 to hit on the tentacle slam against you.
That will hit.
Okay. And that's going to do 5. Ooh, that's some high roll there. 14 bludgeoning damage. And then against Evan, it is going to try to absorb him like it had just done to Zaleen. Gets a dirty 20 to hit, which I believe does hit
Oh, yeah.
his AC. Yeah. So he's gonna take 20 bludgeoning damage, and he is now absorbed in the thing. He had been like down on his belly to shoot down around the edge of it, and all of a sudden this thing just glumps onto his head and pulls him out around. Okay. That is its turn. Zinhorn, you're up. We don't hear you, Paul.
I'm going to cast Toll the Dead.
Okay.
So
Wisdom
it's got to
saving
make
throw.
a wisdom saving throw 14.
It is rolling really well on my die tonight. It does get a 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no damage.
No damage. Okay, so we are back up to Evan's turn. He is restrained, which means that his attacks would be at disadvantage.
Okay. I think he would try to cut his way out with a short sword.
Yeah. So he can make his attacks with disadvantage because, like, obviously he's in there, so it's not like it's hard to hit. But what it's hard to do is to actually like move the sword with any force
Yeah.
because he's
let's
all
see.
smooshed up in there.
So first attack,
Uh,
24 and 24.
Yeah, that will hit. Yeah, for sure.
Oh geez, oh geez, oh geez, oh geez, oh geez, let me go. And second attack,
Okay.
16.
16 is still enough to hit, but the two hits together, although the thing does take the damage from that is not enough for it to spit him out.
Get me out of here. Yeah. Muted, wetter, and
yeah.
much more panic.
I think too, the instinct of someone absorbed into this thing would be probably you don't want to open your mouth if you can avoid it.
Mm.
But in any case, that is Evan's turn. Zaleen, you are up. You are currently able to fly, so you're no longer about to fall into the boiling water, but you're also face to face with this thing, and Evan's in there now. Your boy.
Yeah, my boy. I gotta save him. I am going to fly and probably take an attack of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fly 60 feet up and Eldritch blast it.
Okay. Well, I think from 60 feet vertically up, you're not going to have any line of sight on it.
Really? Because Eldritch Blast has 120 foot range.
But it's on the bottom of the
It's
catwalk.
under the ramp.
Oh, it's under. You're right.
Yeah.
So,
I know
I
it's
will-
confusing on the map.
Yeah.
I should, here I can make it like,
half invisible.
well, I was just going to do this, but like that kind of defeats the whole point of having like the token.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Here's the token so you know what it looks like, but where it actually is this circle. It's underneath there.
So,
I mean, you
what
can
if
certainly
I
back
move
away and
this way and Eldritch Blast it?
yeah, you can get some distance for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you-
It does make an opportunity attack though.
okay.
It gets a dirty 20 to hit.
Hit me. I have baby armor class.
It does 12 bludgeoning damage.
And soon I will be dead.
Well, ideally you don't want to go unconscious while you're still above the boiling water.
I know. I'm going to do my Eldritch Blasts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the 25 will hit, the 8 will not.
Yeah. Okay. So seven damage, and then I move back 20 feet. So I'm gonna move over here and drop down onto the catwalk thingy.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you as Zaleen lands back on the catwalk, you all look at her. She looks like she has just applied a layer of Vaseline over her entire body and all of her clothes. Okay, Nedry.
Okay, one of them is safe. I don't think I can reach him. So, okay. He's just tiny, so he's going to start running over and kind of, excuse me, passing through, sorry, and kind of move to the end of there, hoping to be able to see underneath.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because it's a
And-
big thing. So like when you have enough of an angle, like it extends several feet from the bottom of the catwalk. So if you can get line of sight from there for sure.
and it's engulfed him.
Yeah, he is like squished up inside it.
Okay, this is probably going to be okay for you then. He'll cast Acid Splash at it,
Okay.
kind of beside it to splash over it. That's
Does it make
a
a saving throw?
dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Wow, it is rolling really well tonight. It gets a 19.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
So no effect.
I'm using this new big fancy purple D20, and it apparently rolls really well. So, lucky for all of you guys, I guess, that the monster is getting good rolls tonight. Okay, so that is that's your action then, and
Yep,
and it misses.
that's it.
Okay. Sequential.
Sequential will extend their magical rod focus, cleanse it with fire. Firebolt, to be exact.
Okay.
And I clicked and it didn't. Did it do anything? It didn't do anything. Come on, click. Clicky click. What are you doing? Why are you being difficult?
I don't know.
There we go. Firebolt. 12 to hit.
A 12 just misses, I'm afraid. Looking for 13.
Yikes.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Darn it. I keep forgetting to use my reaction for the shield. It gives bonuses, basically add intelligence and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, if we want to say you, I mean, I want to
would
encourage
love
you to use
to.
it. So if
Right.
if we want to say you did use it.
Yeah, so essentially
Yeah.
I use my reaction to analyze it with the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Adds my intelligence bonus, which is +4 to an attack roll and to the damage.
Ah, see, that'll hit. So yeah, you sort of huddle looking through your transparent shield, and it gives you a little heads up display. Beep, 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 weak point.
2d10 +8. So that would have hit it
Mm-hmm.
for
Oh,
22
Is that right?
+4. So 26 total points of damage.
Wow. Wait a minute. Where's okay? Because your
So
arcane firearm thing too, right?
You're right. Right.
Yeah,
so
so it's
2d10 plus 1d8.
Plus 1d8
+4.
plus 4. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't die or anything, but that's a very good hit for sure. All right. I mean that's really good for Firebolt. Yeah.
For a cantrip.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You definitely create like a big old like. There's a spot on it that actually sort of burns for a little while. It leaves a big scorched, like blistery spot before it kind of just dissolves back into the rest of that's ooze. Okay, but it still has Evan embedded in it, and now on the Moral's turn, Evan is going to take.
Um,
What?
am I not getting a turn?
Your
Isn't it
turn
my turn?
is.
I'm between sequential.
Oh, you're
and,
right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes, I'm sorry.
How hurt is Zaleen?
Pretty hurt.
Mortally
Gotcha.
wounded.
I'm like
She's been
Almost
dead for an
dead.
hour.
I'm like practically dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
That said, she is not currently in life-threatening danger, whereas Evan is.
Yeah, Evan
Right,
is.
but only one of those things I can do anything about
Fair.
right now.
Sure.
So I am going to cast Healing Word at 3rd level on Zaleen.
I mean, you could cast Healing Word on Evan if you wanted.
Yeah.
I'm not going
Um,
to tell you what to do, but I'm just saying.
Well,
Lynn has priorities.
so 15, Jenny, for you.
Okay, thank you.
And then my options are pretty limited here. Yeah, I don't really have much else that I can do. Well, I guess I have my short bow, but that would take an action to like change from my rapier and shield, right?
I mean, yeah, if
To
you
the short bow.
it doesn't take an action, but like if you wanted to drop your rapier and shield on the floor, you could draw your short bow and fire.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
So I will drop those two things for the moment and grab my short bow and fire at this creature.
All right.
Let's see if I hit. Let's see. 14.
A 14 hits.
Yay. 8 damage.
All right. Okay, so at the start of its turn, assuming you're done with your turn now. Okay. Evan is going to take 17 acid damage.
Ooh. And I get my spear damage on it.
Yes. Is Evan still conscious, Mark?
Evan's still up.
Okay.
Yep.
Is he suffocating or
Yes, but
like how many rounds does he get to
He'll be
hold his
dead long
breath?
before he suffocates.
yeah.
You never know.
Well, so the suffocating,
It'll be digested.
as long as you like have your held breath, like it's definitely like it's like minutes equal to your con modifier, which in combat
Okay.
terms is like unless something makes you let your breath go.
Okay.
That's why it's a risk to potentially like say something or
Right.
do whatever underwater. But yeah, so he can hold his breath, but he is absolutely getting dissolved by acid.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it takes another 7 freezing damage, and I
Yeah.
think on this turn it does go ahead and use its action to pull the spear free from itself with a tendril.
Okay, so it's going to take an additional 1d6 when it
Okay.
does that.
Mm-hmm. So, but then here's the bad news though. I'll give it that damage when you give me the d6 roll, but
Oh, okay.
what it does is it drops off of the catwalk and goes down into the water. And it descends. It's like 30 feet below the surface now.
That's not good.
Bringing Evan with it.
Hey.
All right. It does take another 6
6
damage,
points.
though. It's looking like it's retreating because you guys are hurting it, but also it's got Evan still. So Zinhorn, it is your turn.
I am going to use my divine healing powers, and I'm going to channel divinity, and I am going to give Evan back 30 hit points and Zaleen back 10.
Ooh. Can you just read the description of the feature just to clarify my memory and so that everyone at home knows?
Channel divinity, preserve life. Starting at 2nd level, you can use your channel divinity to heal badly injured. As an action, you present your holy symbol and invoke healing energy that can restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your cleric level. Choose any creatures within 30 feet of you and divide those hit points among them.
Fantastic.
This feature can restore a creature to no more than half of its maximum hit points.
All right. So here's what I'm going to say, though, because it's within 30 feet of you, I think is what it said. Because it
Yep.
just went 30 feet under. What I'm
I
going to
have to
say
move.
is, in order to do that, you're going to need to fly and swoop just by the surface, which I will make you need to roll for. But
Okay.
if assuming you don't plunge I'll give you that you succeed with the feature, regardless. But now we
Right.
see how you manage to, if you manage to avoid crashing into the boiling water.
And what am I rolling?
I think this is an athletics check, unless you want to try to make a case for something else.
Athletics is okay.
All right, because you're basically doing like a swoop where you have to, at the last minute, send yourself back up. A
right.
14, I think, is enough. You end up clinging to one of the pipes on the side above the water, and it's very hot. Like, it's uncomfortable to hold on to this hot pipe, but you manage
Okay.
to. I think just for your amount of movement, I think we'll say you're like right here
Okay.
for now. But you
So
succeeded in delivering your healing.
Was that
Okay.
30 points you said for Evan?
Yeah,
30 points for Evan and 10 for
Okay.
Zaleen.
All right.
which has
And
him,
I
yes,
didn't
in
die.
much better shape than he was a moment ago.
It's going to be a much slower death now.
Yeah. All right. That was Zinhorn's turn. It is now Evan's turn. He's feeling marginally better, but still, better physically. Psychologically, still seems pretty bad.
Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah. I think he's going to thrash madly with the short sword to try to get it to give him up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he doesn't have a lot of other choices. So
Okay. Yeah.
that's still at disadvantage, you said?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. It's not.
Not.
I wish the control keys worked. There we go.
Yeah.
So a 10 on the first
10,
strike
unfortunately, it's not going to do it.
and a 10 on the second strike.
Yeah. I'm not sure he's able to do enough damage anyway, but
He doesn't know that.
well, yeah. So in any case, though, he's not able to, it's shifted itself around to pin his arms a little tighter. He's not able to do it any damage this round. One thing that I'll say that all of you kind of noticed, though, about it trying to retreat is that it looks like it was heading for some, pipe openings that you realize it's ooze-like nature. It can probably travel through the pipes, but it wouldn't be able to do so with Evan inside.
Not
So-
hold anyway.
Yeah, so it looks like it is kind of dumb and currently having that sort of realization of like, oh wait, I can't get out through the pipes with my food, but I also don't want to give up my food. All right, Zaleen, it is your turn.
So can I see it down there? Like if I
Yes.
look over the edge, I can see it.
Yes, but it's partially obscured because, like I said, it's boiling water, so there's bubbles coming up.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Okay. Dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
It gets a 3.
Okay, so he takes 13 radiant damage.
Yeah. It's looking pretty bad at this point.
That wasn't enough for him to spit Evan out, though.
No, unfortunately, to get it to spit out, you have to do the damage from inside.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It does look very bad off, though. It's starting to look pretty desperate. All right. Anything else from Zaleen?
Nope.
Okay. Nedry.
Yeah, Nedry's kind of looking quite frantic, and he'll run over to the edge and look over, but there's actually, no, I can't even make it all the way yet to the edge. Make it down the road.
Well,
We've gotta do
it's
something.
low enough that you could actually probably, like, over the side, you could get line of sight, like, down below the catwalk, because it's 30 feet lower now. Right? So the angle
okay.
to look right
Yep.
at it would be less.
Although there's all catwalk in his way in order to see it.
Well, I'm saying that you would have to. So, like, if you were here and you looked
Mhm.
down over the side, like, you would have
Oh,
the.
you could see it from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's the distance is greater, but
yeah, I don't think the distance is a problem. Well, it might be. Yeah, he's just going to frantically call it. We've got to do something and try to cast acid splash at it.
okay.
It's a range of 60 feet though, so I'm not sure if it'll
I'll
actually
give you
make
that.
it.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
And it's magic, so I'm not gonna make the water do anything. It does get a 17 on its dexterity save, though.
No effect.
Yeah. Okay. Sequential.
Firebolt seemed to work once, so I'll try it again. Wet, I'll analyze for sure. Which is another +4 2 hit, so 14. Oh,
Okay.
+4 is 18.
Yep. It does hit.
Yay. 1, 2, bloop, bloop. One of you. And then roll with the +4 is 18 points of damage.
Okay, so there's good news and bad news.
Yeah, it was.
The good news is that you have killed it, and it basically starts to just dissolve and disintegrate into the water. Bad news is Evan is now fully
It's
immersed in the boiling water, and
super
he's
boiling
going to
water.
take. What was that? I have him make a Constitution save.
All right.
Ooh,
It doesn't look like he has anything special for it, so
I don't think so.
nope.
Okay. He's going to take 32 fire damage.
Still going.
And he is going to take that again on his turn until every round until he is able to be completely out. And then there's still going to be some lingering damage until you can do something else about it. Because, he'd still be, like, it'll be better, but, yeah, so he's in, yeah, he's 30 feet down.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so in any case, he is being parboiled right now. But the thing is dead. So that's, you didn't need to do that part. So, all right, Carolina.
Well, there's not too much I can do right at this particular juncture, so I am going to run over here. Well, I'll pick up my rapier, obviously, and shield, and run over here and kind of look at Zaleen. It's like, can you get him? And like, I will wave this potion bottle that I have fished from my pack out.
What is it?
It's a healing potion, so
Oh,
still have mine.
I can't do anything.
You can fly.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
True. He has
I
to
mean,
get to the top
unless
first, though.
Nedry has dropped concentration.
No, and I'm sorry, I missed half of that. My bandwidth just dropped out for some
Oh,
stupid reason.
well, we were just trying to clarify that Zaleen can still fly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all you're doing, Caroline?
I guess just to maybe keep him going. Oh, I'm running low on everything. I will bonus action cast Healing Word on him at
Okay.
2nd level.
All right.
6. It's not nothing, I guess.
All right. Zinhorn.
I am going to do the divine healing again as I fly by him. Has he popped up at all a little bit?
No.
Hasn't had a chance to move.
On his turn, assuming he's not unconscious, he will sort of naturally float because, like, bodies do. but
Right.
on his turn, he will have the opportunity to try to swim.
I'm gonna risk it again. I'll dip down and channel divinity, and I'll heal him for 40 hit points.
I'll go ahead and say that you can do that from where you are without like he's floated up
Oh,
enough
okay.
that I'll say you don't have to try flying. You'll have to try flying again to get back, but you don't have to do it right now. You can stay where you are.
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah.
You're calling upon the power of Fushama to once again grant this healing power.
Yes.
How much are you giving?
40 points.
Aha. That'll help.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
alive for another round.
Yeah. Okay, great. So that will be, unless you want to try to go ahead and move on this round, Zinhorn.
No, because I don't know what Zayneen's going to do, and she's
Okay.
flying also.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I
have a midair
will
collision.
say you're going to take 4 fire damage just from how hot this pipe is that you're having to cling to so tightly.
Worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Evan's turn. Let's go ahead and have him make another Constitution saving throw.
7. It's better than last time.
Ah, well, yeah, he's still having a rough time here. So let's see. He's taking 30 more fire damage.
Okay.
And he is able to swim at half speed. So if he uses his action to dash, he can get to the surface. But he is obviously in a dire situation. Would be unconscious for sure, if not for getting healed again just then. But he is
3
able
times
to
over would be dead. Yes.
make it to the surface, looking desperate and wild-eyed. And Jenny, his eyeliner is running. It's doing the whole drippy eye thing. It looks
That
so
may also be
bad
part of
right
his
now.
face, which is running at this
Yeah.
point with all the acid.
Well, no, that's just all red and puffy. It's
That
not a good
eyeliner
look.
is like the eyeliner is like divine, so that's not going anywhere. All right,
It's divine shadow.
I
Divine
am
eyeshadow.
yeah
But
divine.
it is Aileen's
eyeliner.
turn.
I am going to take this potion that Lynn gave me and tuck it into my pocket, and I am going to fly out and reach down and hold my hand to him and use my action to try to pull him out.
Yeah. What's your strength again?
Little. It's like 10.
Yeah. I think let's see an athletics check to see if you can lift him out of the boiling water.
17.
17's pretty good. You know what? I think that you know what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to rule that with a 17, I am going to need you to take for me 6 fire damage from splashing. But you are able to scoop him out of the water and bring him back to drop down onto the railing.
Okay.
And with that, I'll go ahead and rule us as out of initiative for this encounter. Although Evan is like, ideally something else also. Like he's going to still be taking little bits of damage here because like all of his armor and everything on him, he's still kind of wet in an area where it's not like evaporating because the air is saturated. So he is kind of still taking some damage, unless you guys can figure out a way to stop that.
Sequential, did you go into that room? Did you look in
there's
there?
a hallway. I didn't go into the room. It goes down a ways.
Can we
So-
maybe
Can-
move
get
into that hallway and rest?
The
So
potion.
we can. Oh yeah.
Give him the potion.
He takes another 5 fire damage just from continuing to burn.
Lynn, do the thing. Dry him off.
Zinhorn, you
Prestidigitate.
can fly back over to the
Yeah.
catwalk with everyone else for that.
Thank you.
I'll do some prestidigitation and try to get the boiling water off of him,
Yeah.
slime, whatever.
Mhm.
And I will give him that potion.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, if you're all like moving out of this room to try to get like out of the sauna here,
Yep.
you can do that if you like.
He gets 2d4 plus 2 hit points back.
And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him. And he will get 10 points back.
And how much was the potion?
I have to roll it, but I have to re-add it to my inventory because I didn't have one in there.
It's
Well,
2d.
it's gone now.
2d4
So.
I know I have to add it or I can't roll it. That's all.
You just
2d4
manually
plus
roll
2?
2d4.
Yeah, I could do that too, but
That's all
I
right.
can also do
We got it
this.
oh, well, there you go. 7
There,
is better.
7.
So yeah, all right. So that's another 7. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and rule. If you guys are hurrying on into that hallway, then I'd say go ahead and just move your tokens on in there. And the danger has currently passed, even though Evan is obviously still kind of like he's looking a little better with the magical healing, but he's still kind of shaken and kind of just still like a little bit slimy and gross. But then again, so is Zaleen. You know, it's just like, you know. But he just gives Zaleen a big hug.
I told you the mistress would look out for you.
You were right. All right.
Man, what is that red glowy thing?
Yeah.
Can we sit down
That's
and take a
very
short
exciting.
rest before
Well-
we look at the big red glowy thing?
I mean, you guys tell me.
Because
Yeah, we need
if
to
Yeah,
take
I
a
was
short
gonna-
rest.
I was going to move far enough into the corridor just so everybody can get in and we can close the door.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to
I'm
move Evan.
moving.
And,
I'm closing the door, and I'll go ahead and move Evan's token in there too, though. Don't worry.
But there's a big glowing red thing.
okay,
Rest?
but if
You
it tries
sure?
to kill us, we're all gonna die. Like, I have
And-
nothing right now.
Wow. Looks like a crystal.
All right.
Yeah. So as you are moving into that space, there is another crystal that, and this is somewhat a little bit similar in design to one of the controls areas that you had encountered on the level above, but you recognize the machinery sequential from Greg Holmes' notes that this must be the planar attunement control panel. Like, this is where it is designed to manipulate the energies of the rift and how it delivers power to everything else. And so you know that if you wanted to just shut it all down, this is where you would do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to instead try to get it to where it is actually working and functional again, this is part of what you would need to do. But this is the planar alignment control panel.
So for anyone taking hit dice, take an extra 1d6 as I will do my Song of Rest.
So if you are taking a short rest, I would just like
Yes.
request that you all paint a picture here a little bit, because this room is not like, it's not got couches or anything for you. It's
Right.
just like, it is a pretty
We're all
spare metal walls.
Breathing
and
heavy and
floors,
leaning against the walls.
gigantic glowing pulsing crystal going vroom, 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 vroom in the center of the room, and you're all kind of extremely sweaty and just dripping and burned, and so taking a breather, just kind of like sitting against the wall. Is
I
that
think
what's
so.
going on?
Yeah,
Collapsing
Saul sitting
on
on
the
the floor.
I mean, Nedry's got his big book out and taking rapid notes to try to get all the thoughts down. That's the way he copes with things.
Mhm.
So yeah, as we're just kind of like trying to rest and catch our breath, Lynn's gonna sing a little song. I'll just do the chorus. Oh, heroes of legend are we, Though the stories name few, it was you, it was me. Through hope and fear, we have beat back the darkness. A, a legion of heroes of legend are we.
Lovely.
Nice.
So everyone gets an extra 1d6, I think. you said?
1d6, yes.
Yep.
All right. So feel free, of course, to have any roleplay business that you would like during this rest, but otherwise it's going to pass without incident.
So, do you think that thing was here originally,
This place is
Or-
terrible.
or was it like the other one upstairs? It just sort of moved in.
So
I
I had,
think it moved in.
well, I don't know. I was thinking about it and like it's weird because the sludge had the little glowy guys. The steam had the steam guy who was very unhappy to see us. And the water had this boiling water guy. Like I mean, they very much coincide. Kind of like with what's in the pipes. Anybody else notice that?
So,
Doesn't he?
spontaneous generation of spirit, or the inhabitation of an extraplanar being?
Well, I don't know because it's like all magical stuff going through these pipes, right? Who knows?
It would be amazing to harness that. Imagine what you could build.
Ugh.
Or, well, not all spirits are bad.
Well, I didn't say they were, but this whole situation is pretty awful.
It's out of control, that's all. It needs to be adjusted and maintained. There's a lot of power flowing through everything here. Extraplanar power from multiple planes, actually. So, no one's paid any attention to it since Gregholm left, I imagine.
Yeah.
An entire school could be founded around this thing, just trying to understand how it works and controlling it and turning it into something great. An entire city could be built around this.
Yeah, and it could also be used to destroy half the prime material plane. So,
Yes, that thing right there. Yes.
yeah.
I mean, many things can be used to do that. Well, maybe not a
No,
lot of
this
things,
is
but
specifically designed to do that. So the more people you tell, the more someone's going to start coming around to try and
Push the
tinker
button.
with it.
well, that's why you need to control it. Why you need to have people to control it. If you just let anybody at it, okay, sure, but
I remember somebody turning a valve earlier.
It was
I wouldn't
fine.
say that we're in control.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened until
Just need
sequential
some
was
doc-
there to put it back to normal. So let's just be careful with blowing up the prime material plane because we live here.
I mean, we could always move. There are a lot
lots
of other
other
planes
people.
out
Move the
there.
entire city of Pashon too.
Not to mention
Sure.
all the other people that live here, just outside the city.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a possibility. There are lots of spaces on the planes, I'd imagine.
yeah. And how long would it take? I mean, you're good at math. How long would it take to get everyone to move and move all
Well,
their
if we had
stuff?
an extraordinarily powerful device to allow everyone to move, it might not take any time at all.
Maybe just not have the device that could, destroy an entire plane. That would seem like the easier solution.
That's kind of what I'm arguing for.
Well,
Thank
the
you.
thing is, we already have it. We already have it and it was used for something else entirely. I don't think that we can destroy this thing safely. I think actually, if we try to destroy it, it's more likely to actually blow up the entire plane. Maybe even multiple, actually.
So sequential, I think you know at the very least that if you were to shut down the rift completely, which you think you could figure out how to do if you took a little time with it, it would be very difficult to restart it.
Yeah.
But that would render everything else in the facility powerless as well.
Yeah. Shutting it down and dismantling it would go a long way from ever seeing it used to destroy the prime material plane.
It's weird that it was made,
But
especially like this.
yeah, well,
I
everything
think it was
around
meant.
this Denethor's pretty strange.
Yeah.
I think it was meant to be the last ditch effort. Like if it can't be contained, it has to be destroyed, right?
Mm.
Something
Yeah.
that bad that would warrant, obliterating half of the plane. It must be really, really bad.
Probably just not understood.
Or understood too well. Sometimes more knowledge doesn't make something better. It just lets you see how bad it is.
No,
Well, at least-
no more knowledge is always better. Ignorance gets you nowhere, and usually
My
gets you hurt.
nightmares would say otherwise. I'm just saying.
But now they know more about them, you can control them. And with that pipe, for example, something built specifically because they knew more about nightmares rather than less.
Your
At least
your
now
voice
we can-
jingles a little bit every time you talk. It's great.
I know. That was part of the invention. By design.
No, I love it. I'm not a complaint.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Right?
Exactly.
So at least now we can use the tool as a benign tool to hopefully look through the telescope and get more information.
Yeah, and that's key, is that in order to make the telescope functional, you would need to actually power everything up, at least for a little bit.
Yeah. So
But this place has just been neglected and let to run amok. Things have moved in that don't really belong here.
yeah, as Greg Home was fixing it and learning about it and everything, everything was pretty well functional. We didn't have these kind of monster problems.
Well,
Spirit
how do you
problems.
know that they didn't move in so much as escape?
Escape from where?
These pipes. Maybe that's like all of this goo was spilled out on the floor, and that's where those little things came from. What if they were in the pipes to begin with, and then when the pipes broke, out came the little glowy acid guys?
So when the controls failed, they were let out. But if the controls weren't failing, maybe they could be turned into, I don't know, batteries like the other ones that were let out and then controlled, captured.
I don't think I like that very much. Doesn't seem right. It would be like sticking one of us inside a little bauble of something so that we can, I don't know, power up a lamp or something.
That's
Doesn't
called a
seem
job.
right. Not when you're
It's a
trapped
job.
there. That's called
Yeah.
slavery.
Do I know
Yeah.
who has? Do I know who has the diamond?
Is it in the tower?
Well, I
Is
think
it in the tower, or did somebody
my
take
guess
it?
is it is, but that's, I don't recall where you guys left it.
I couldn't remember if
I
somebody had
thought
like.
I had it on me.
We thought we left it with the dead guy.
No.
In case of emergency, break diamond and hope for the best.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Spirits are a little bit different. I know it seems the same, but spirits are used to be the power for a lot of things.
That's the thing, Nedry. They're used.
But depending on how
Used.
they're used, it may not matter. Just like being a student, you're being used by the professor. That's normal.
That's not normal. There's nothing normal about that. Nothing about that is right.
No.
What kind
Sure.
of school do you go to?
What if
I mean,
spirits?
you were used on stage to bring people into the bar, right?
I chose to do that.
Well, maybe they chose it too. I mean,
Did
spirits
they-
don't have complicated
That's
feelings
not
all the
how
time.
it works.
Are
How do
you
you know that?
sure? Are you a spirit? Do you know these things about spirits? Because
I'm learning.
If someone
Maybe
wants
we
to
should
make
ask
a
the
religion
cleric.
check, you could.
Sure.
That would be the appropriate. Ooh, look, that's pretty good. So I think Nedry, to the extent that anyone's going to give you credibility on this, but I think your studies tell you that generally speaking, it's not the idea of a spirit not wanting to do its purpose is not usually something that happens because spirits are kind of naturally shaped and are formed based on their environment and the conscious energy around them. And so they generally manifest in order to fulfill a function and don't really have any objection with fulfilling that function, right? And so, like the big spirits that people will perform rituals for or even worship, and they get as big as like Rishama, for example, like it's a partnership, but to a large extent, like the spirit exists, its nature is defined by that partnership. So usually it's not an issue. The idea of having a spirit be forced to do something against its will, like it would be extraordinarily difficult, and nobody would really know how to do that other than to just like actually try to have the spirit be intelligent enough to have a conversation with and that sort of thing. Like you can fight against spirits and everything, but usually that's not a very lasting or successful sort of task. But usually the idea is that if you want a spirit to perform some role, that can be shaped in a way that the spirit doesn't object. Now, that said, that's spirits as you've understood them here in the material plane. The whole thing with these nightmares, it's unclear if they are exactly the same kind of phenomenon, although there are certainly similarities. But it does seem like it is a different situation in terms of the Dinutherian technology based on this nightmare energy. But your impression is that, like, when the magic is used to harness this nightmare energy, it's not like you have the conscious being that is trapped inside the Midnight Stone or whatever. It's more like you have energy that, when released into the world, becomes more like a being. But it's almost more like just fungible with the actual the planar energy involved. Does that make any sense? I know it's a complicated, made-up thing that I'm describing, but so the point just being, usually you wouldn't have any question of trying to force a spirit the way you're used to them to do something against its will, because they either would fight back or just disappear or change if you ever tried. But these nightmares, such as they're called, seem to be something different happening there. And as far as the things that you've encountered in this location, you suspect that it may be slightly complicated by this extra energy, but you suspect that a lot of these might be a bit more like the typical formation of spirits in the presence of environmental factors, but there's just a lot of ambient magic in the area here that might just be causing that to happen faster in a slightly different way than it might otherwise. Because usually spirits don't form in places where there are no living creatures to provide like that conscious energy. They stay as ambient energy until there are living creatures to kind of give them a shape. And so usually it wouldn't happen in a deserted facility. But it did here.
So imagine that explanation, but with a lot more technical terms, a lot less insight, and more of a practical point of view.
I don't know. To me, it sounds like you just like. To me, it feels like the equivalent of like taking people and shoving them in the burner of a train to fuel it, to get it to go. That's what it feels like. I don't like it.
Well, I do believe in ancient times they did actually use the corpses to power
That
the
didn't
steam
make
ship.
it right.
Well, they were dead at the time, so they didn't
Yeah,
really
but like
object
you
all
can
that
bring
much.
people back from the dead. So when is it ever a good time?
I mean, that would
Nedry,
argue that no one should ever die.
I really like you a lot, and I love that you love to learn things, but sometimes I feel like you go too far in your pursuit to learn and I don't know, make everything the way you want it to be. And sometimes I'm afraid that you won't know what is good and what is right because it'll interfere with what your pursuit of knowledge is leading you towards. And I all of this stuff is amazing and wonderful, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that we should embrace it and make it our own. Just because
All I know is that every time I've not known something, it's never been better. And the moment I've known something, I've had some control over power, over the situation, over good and bad for that matter.
but you wouldn't know if you didn't know. You don't know if it would be better or not if you didn't know. Because you wouldn't know.
I'm pretty sure you're making my argument for me. Not knowing something and not knowing what you don't know is terrifying.
But if
That's the
you
sort of
don't
thing
know,
me cares.
but if you don't know that you don't know,
Then
how
you
could
are,
you be afraid?
Yeah, I don't think that's anything to be afraid
Well,
of.
Yeah, there's
because
nothing
you'll
to
be
afraid of.
inevitably taken under by whatever it is you don't know.
I think
So you have to quest to know everything.
Not
Evan. I
necessarily.
think Evan speaks up and just says, "Well, I'm not following all of the technical stuff that you're talking about necessarily, but I mean, the way I look at it right now is that like I was, I don't know, happier is maybe the wrong word, but like before I knew all of this stuff, I wasn't as scared of the world ending, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't in just as much danger. I just didn't know. And so I wasn't scared, but that wouldn't have, the fact that I know means that I can try to help solve the problem.
Exactly.
But you
Evan
weren't
gets it.
afraid. No, he doesn't. He does get it. What he's saying is like completely opposite of what you're saying. Ignorance is bliss. He had no idea that all this stuff was happening. So he wasn't afraid all the time.
Well,
Now-
but
I'd rather
also
know than be happy.
I can help now, though.
Right. But that's the thing. Like you're talking about being afraid of things that we can't even begin to imagine. So if that's true, then you're literally walking around afraid all the time.
But he should have been afraid. Just because he
No,
didn't know it
you.
doesn't mean it didn't exist.
I'm talking about you. Like, is that how you live? Like you walk around constantly in fear of
No, the more I know, the less I fear. The more I know, the less I fear. The more a chance I have to actually do something. If I don't know anything about it, it's just going to hit me one day. But if I know, then I can avoid it. Or I can fix it, or I can make it better.
So all of that is very high and lofty and whatever, but the fact remains that they're still taking these nightmare creatures, even if they're, nightmares and not very pleasant, and they're turning them into something else.
And
Not
there's a
necessarily
price to be
against their
paid.
will. Yeah.
And like things are happening long term because of what they were doing that they didn't
Because they didn't
foresee.
know enough.
Well,
No, they did know.
So sequential, I certainly don't want to dictate how sequential would feel about any of that, but I think you know at least now that Greg Holmes' theory about this was that this magic, magic always has a cost, and the thing that makes this magic seem different is that it can be done without paying the cost right away, which can initially make it seem like there's no cost at all. But the problem is that if the cost is not eventually paid, that's when it goes bad. And it goes
Right.
bad in different, more unpredictable ways. And that some of the things that you're observing are not necessarily the result of the initial magic, but rather the attempt to avoid paying the cost.
Mm.
So I don't know how sequential
Yeah.
feels about it
Yeah.
necessarily, but this idea, this discussion of, you know, like, the nightmares, like, how much of that unpleasantness is because the
Right.
magic has gone bad.
Is right. So it's actually a symptom
Because, I
of the
mean, after
problem.
all, your existence comes from one of these rituals.
Yeah, I'm here because of the use of this magic, which Gregholm may ultimately have already paid the large price for.
But he didn't know about that at the time.
Yeah, he did. That's why he left. Because he
No,
went
Well,
no,
no,
when
but-
he
the
performed the
price.
ritual, he didn't know, right?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
I
correct.
mean, he was ignorant of something and probably should have known more.
Before jumping in and working with it, yeah.
The other thing is, I think we can all agree that the nightmares are bad, right? And we can't necessarily destroy them, although we might try. But now we can transform them into something which can do good.
Well, but
So I
that's
don't really
kind of
feel
a matter
bad
of
for them.
perspective.
Mm.
And that's forcing your own morality on another creature, and I don't think that's right.
I mean,
But
I think
this one
everybody forces their
argument,
morality once in a while.
just because
an
they're
argument, I think, for shutting down this entire facility, because who knows what costs it's incurring. It's leeching from another dimension, right? But
That's why it has to be studied and understood.
it is taking, right? Because there is a cost that's taking from there, and eventually somebody there might notice that and may destroy us, or take the equivalent amount of energy all at once, essentially destroying us.
Or a balance can be made. Only study and research will tell us this. Destroying it
Sequential.
might still not pay the price. The price might still be there, and then we'll have no way of doing anything about it.
that's your opinion.
Sequential, what do you want to do? Because I know we talked about using the telescope to see
Mhm.
if maybe we could see Gregholm. If
I
you want
think
to
it's
do
the
that,
best we should do. I think it's the best we can do now. The danger is it is going to, turn the entire facility on. Which, I mean, isn't an immediate danger. It's been on before, and but that may, I don't know, in the current climate with the people after us, that may be a beacon too. But I don't think we have any other choice. We need more information, right, as
Always.
Nedry says.
I think it's a reasonable first step, controlled first step to get the telescope online and locate Gregholm. I'm still 50-50 on shutting the whole thing down to disarm what is a doomsday machine. But as a cautious first step, I don't see a huge danger in figuring out how to get the telescope back online. And I think that should be our next goal. We probably have a lot of things that we have to handle as we're doing that, like getting rid of the monsters in here, maybe convincing the Yeti to move back down the mountain, getting the nightmare out of the rock. If failing that, having to kill it. But that's the way I see it.
It's like Master always says, you can't write the end of the essay until you've written the middle, and you have to start at the beginning.
Sure.
And I think we've got a shiny red beginning in front of us.
All right. And I think we've all had a short rest. Shall we explore it a little bit more?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Want to?
So there is this room obviously, that you can see here on the map where there's a lot of complicated machinery and control panels. I've just added these two little green rectangles to indicate where the doors in this room are.
Cool.
Okay.
I think
So-
when everyone else starts to go into the room, though, Evan does actually hold you back just a little bit, Zaline, and does just say, you know, I talked about being afraid earlier, but at the same time, like, I was, I was really scared when that thing had me down there, and obviously, like, it hurt. I was, in pain, but, like, I don't know, since this has been happening, I feel more like I'm doing something important with my life, and I don't want to die, but I feel like if I did, I wouldn't have wasted my life. I mean, for all I know, I could have gotten run over by a cart back in Gorn, you know? Uh, like, I feel like I'm doing something important here, and I wanted to thank you all for that, but also for saving my life so that I can continue to try to do important things.
You're welcome. We have to look out for each other.
I have
That's
to do
why-
some research to figure out some spells I can help people with.
So, Ev, if you would like to go ahead and investigate the controls in here,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
may do so.
Mm.
I'm gonna hang back like before going into the room, like just
Okay.
inside,
Sure.
still inside the corridor. Like
Yeah.
trust nothing.
You can actually make that with advantage because I assume you've got not only
Yeah.
Gregor's notes but also Nedry, I assume, helping. 21,
Oh, yeah.
that's pretty good.
21. Better.
Yeah. So, investigating the current setup, the immediate thing that you had already kind of guessed just based on what you had seen so far is that the rift is open and it's clearly providing energy. Otherwise, the water wouldn't be, boiling in the whole plant there and everything, and you wouldn't have seen anything with any power. But it's a little bit like a pilot light in the sense that you can have the planar rift being just open, like an open rift to the elemental plane of fire, where there's just a lot of energy just coming through a big area. But what it's designed to do when it's actually operating is it sort of tunes that rift to focus it in like a little blowtorch, right? Instead of having like big flame, it's like little tiny hot flame, right?
Mhm.
The problem right now is that it's just like open too wide, and so there's a lot of energy coming out, but it's unfocused. It's not being all directed to where it needs to go. And so that's the primary issue right now, is that you need it to be refocused in that way in order to power up the plant to full power.
Mhm.
And then from there, the rest of the controls that you had gone through, like the one that says
Right.
how much power that goes to the Midnight Stone manufacturer versus the telescope, making sure that the fine controls of the turbine are like the coil is not vibrating too much, and then
Right.
overall, directing it all up to the telescope. So basically, there's a series of things that you will have to manipulate in order to get to the point where you have the operating telescope. But this is like the first thing from a technological perspective. But the wrinkle is that right now, you can see that it is set in this position where it's like forced open and unfocused in this way, because it's got a little blinking yellow light that says obstruction detected.
Ah. Okay. We do have a malfunction.
Right.
So obstruction detected. Can I tell where the obstruction is?
In the rift. because this
Oh.
is what this is designed to do, is to control the planar alignment and focus of the rift in order to produce the energy transfer in the required means. But the controls where it would say, like, okay, now focus it in, get it on the right frequencies, so to speak, the right aperture and all of that. Right now, it's blinking in the fully open because it says obstruction detected, which I think you would conclude as meaning there is something preventing it from harnessing the rift in the way that it is meant to.
Sure.
And given that what its current configuration is basically just an open big portal to the elemental plane of fire, there's lots of things in the elemental plane of fire besides fire. I mean, it's
Right.
kind of a fire theme, but there's objects and entities there, not just flames.
So we've got some blockage.
Hmm.
Something may have discovered the portal from the other side, perhaps.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
Or
it's
sounds
just
hard to
fallen
say
lovely.
across it.
It's hard to say if it's intentional or
Mhm.
accidental. Could be either.
Well,
Sounds like a party.
before we tackle that, we definitely need a long rest.
Oh,
What I will tell you, sequential, is that just based on the notes, that although you've not been in this part of the facility before, you
Right.
know that there are a couple of rooms that he's described previously. For example, there was the Denutherian library and
Right.
the planar decontamination room that you would go through before you would get to the rift itself.
Oh, okay.
And you haven't found those yet.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So we will have to definitely check the actual rift, which I am guessing is going to be through this other door.
Yeah. So there are two doors in this room.
But I think we should first open this door because
are they marked?
They're not labeled. But I'll go ahead and open that door for you.
no.
So as we're close to this thing in the center, it's radiating heat, I'm assuming?
No,
So-
it is not giving off heat. It is giving off light,
Oh.
and sort of crackling with arcane electricity. But it seems to be like all of the energy is contained within the gem. It is not like it's glowing, but it's not otherwise like filling the room with fire or anything.
So, are we going further exploring to find these other, like the rift and the library and
We
stuff?
should find
or
the other rooms in the rift, but
Are we doing that now? I know. I'm just asking because I know, like Zinhorn mentioned that he's running pretty low on.
I have one spell slot left.
sure.
I mean, we've had like 3 battles.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's a good point.
it's true that you think that
Yeah, 3 spell
there are
slots.
more. There are places within this overall facility that would be more comfortable for a long rest than here.
Like a library.
Yeah.
And you think that it's possible some of them might be ahead of you, but you also don't know what else is coming.
Yeah.
Like you don't know
And
what else you might find.
That's
You
the
know.
difficult part is we may enter another room and there could be 10 of those tentacle monster things.
Yeah.
Or
So, where on the other hand, you could backtrack to, for example, there was that sort of lounge workshop there where there's more space and there's some couches and a cot and stuff in there. But
Yeah.
but that would require backtracking a bit.
We'd still end up having to go through that room where that thing had popped up too. I don't know if it was the only one that was there.
The elemental thing.
Well, the tentacle
The
water
water.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's up to you guys.
It's a dilemma.
I think it would. Yeah. I mean, I'm still pretty tired.
Okay. So, do we want to backtrack to
Oh crap!
that
Still show I
that
have
workshop?
levels of exhaustion. Oh no! What was I supposed to have lost?
Um,
Oh, speed halved. Disadvantage on ability checks.
you
So
know
when
what?
I had
I'm
unlocked the door, I would have had a problem.
I'm going to go ahead and rule
Not
that you
major.
actually would have actually cleared those levels of exhaustion because it was just something that, like, while you were in diagnostic mode, they got long rests and stuff like that. So,
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
so
Cool.
you can clear those levels of exhaustion. But yeah, as far as the rest of the
But I'm pretty much depleted as well of everything I've prepared for the day.
so you can continue looking forward to see if you have another safe space to find, or you can backtrack. It is up to you all.
Yeah, I think we should go back to that workshop. I think that's the safe thing to do.
I agree.
I don't think anything in here is safe, but okay.
I mean, we could just peek in the doors.
And something could attack us. And we
I
could
just
all die.
start. I don't even answer. I just start walking back towards the doors.
I mean, we
Emma,
could quickly
follow.
close them again.
Bye.
All right. So, what I'll go ahead and tell you is that you do not
They're not
encounter
going
any
anywhere.
difficulty on your way back. Like it's unpleasant going back through the big turbine room with all the water, and then through the other steam areas. But you are able to get all the way back around to. Just as a reminder too, though, that there was in this big pipe room, there was a door right here that you hadn't looked in. Sequential said that it was supposed to be storage and tunnel access, but you didn't
Nope.
go in there. I'm
Nope, nope, nope.
just reminding you that that's a part of this floor that you hadn't been in. That's all I'm saying. But then, yeah, as you get back around to the access to, the next level up, I'll go ahead and move you all back onto that map. So you're here, and you're technically going 2 levels up, right, for the lounge area.
And was down or to the right, the fast way there.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
see anything. It's just
well,
black.
try reloading because it's the lighting stuff.
There we
Come
go.
on, Evan. Doot, doot, doot. Oh, I can't move in. Oh, now I can.
Boy, yeah. In any case, it's moot anyway. Let's just move you to the next level
Yeah.
because you don't encounter any trouble.
We're all lost and separated in the building
Yeah,
for like 6
I'll just-
days.
No, you all get back up to this area here where there's some furniture. There's a little more room to spread out. You don't encounter any additional difficulty going back through the rooms that you have cleared and all that.
Yay.
Yeah.
And then we take a long rest.
Yeah.
Time for study.
Yep. So, what's your setup for long rest? Are you doing watches or anything like that?
Yeah, let's do watches.
I mean, you tell me.
Sequential and I can do like half and half.
Yeah, I can
Since-
take.
Mm-hmm.
I can take. Do you need to take a first or a last, or can you take a middle?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Then I'll take first with
Yeah,
somebody else.
Yeah, I was gonna offer to take first as well.
All right.
Do we have Carolina just under someone else's token right now, or are we just not? There you are.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So
Sorry.
I need you to actually work this out. So, like, tell me what's your sequence?
All right.
What's going on?
So Zinhorn and Lynn are first.
Okay.
Zaleen and Sequential are middle, and Nedry and
Evan.
are third.
Okay.
He needs his rest first anyway.
Do you want to get?
Pretty bad.
Do you want to go into the tower before you start your watch and get Buster, and bring him out? or at least feed him. I mean, he probably ate like a whole table while we
Yeah, he's
were,
probably really lonely.
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
That's-
horse.
Thank you. Oh,
We can probably let him loose in the halls and he can just like eat those spider things or whatever they were that popped out of the ground. Maybe find some more.
no,
I will
that's-
set the tower out on the table so you can like knock and go in if you want.
Okay. I'll go in and feed Buster and play with him.
He might be handy in a
There's
fight.
nothing really for him to do out here other than cause trouble. There's like nothing for him to hunt. There's no like woods
You
for
don't
him
know
to
that.
play in.
Yeah, I mean, if we encounter more stuff, tomorrow it might be good to have
Yeah.
him with us. But
All right.
I mean,
Well, I'll feed him some and then bring him out.
Okay. Yeah, I think he has definitely, like, where did you leave him when, was he still on the ground floor?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, well, it might as well because as previously established, everything that is 18 inches or lower off the ground in that room is already trashed. It is just scratched all the hell, torn. All the books that were on the bottom shelves are just completely in tatters. Yeah, so it's a mess in there, but at the same time, it's been enough of a mess already that everything that he can access at this point is already ruined. So, you know. Okay, so I think that the first shift goes. You do bring Buster out with you or no?
Yeah.
You restore him to regular size.
Hmm. If we restore him to regular size,
Well,
we're going to have to feed him, and the only
You
thing we
also
have is the
have some
horse.
difficulty with that because you can't, while inside, restore the tower to full size.
no.
No, but we can restore.
Didn't we
can-
shrink him with the shrink ray so he would come out like the smaller size?
Well,
That was
like-
only temporary though.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
well,
thought if we used the shrink
Yeah,
ray.
because it
Yeah.
needs to be fixed.
But the shrink ray is temporary. But the incidentally sequential, the stuff that you need for that repair, you are sure you could find that somewhere in this facility.
Sweet, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that the method that you have previously used to manipulate his base level reality size requires you to make the tower full regular
Full-
size,
Mhm.
which you can't do inside.
I mean,
If
you
we
could leave
bring
him
him
in
out,
there.
he just pops to regular size, right?
So,
We just wouldn't be able to get him back in.
Well,
Yeah.
it's you know
Right
what you
now.
can have a you know what what I need to do is sit down and write out the more specific rules for this because I think we're getting a little loosey goosey with this. But if you want him out at full size, that's fine. But yeah. Okay, so you want him out at full size in this room? I mean, because bear in mind he's still an animal that's gonna be impatient and curious and.
Well, I mean, there's a steam spirit in the other room that probably keep him busy.
But
saying.
but
yeah,
it was
but
just
he's going
living
to
its
start
life.
tearing up the pipes.
Leave him in there.
Leave him in there.
Okay.
Just
I'll
leave
play
him
with
in there.
him and take care of him, but we're going to leave him in there.
Give him a ration because it's like 3 times his size. It'll last him for like an hour.
Yes.
All right, so I think you're able to account for all of that. You have the first shift of watches with Zinhorn and who is doing the first shift?
Me.
Carolina. So you can each do your own perception roll if you like, or have one of you do it with advantage.
I've got +6 perception.
So do I.
All right, then let's each roll 1. 22.
Okay.
10.
Like there, you hear lots of noises because this is sort of not merely a active facility, but a largely a facility in disrepair and broken. So there's lots of creaks and hisses and all sorts of groaning sounds that happen from time to time. But as far as you can tell, they all seem to be, natural to the extent that like they are produced by the environment in its way, as opposed to being created by some other threat. So you don't detect anything that you feel is of interest or of note.
Okay.
All right. So the next shift is Zaline and Sequential.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah. So go ahead and you can each make your own perception.
boop.
16.
9.
All right. So yeah, same for you in the sense that like you're not noticing anything that unusual, but something does happen. I think Sequential, you were sitting in your period your position where you were watching, and then there's a moment where you shift posture a little bit. What do you do?
Like his body just moved on its own.
Well, you don't know.
No, I mean I was asking, not Zaleen.
I'm trying to give Chooch the player a signal.
Yeah.
This is where he turns murder bot, isn't it? Damn it.
Right. The eyes turn red. No.
Exterminate.
Danger.
Well, actually, initially, I'm just going to start looking through my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Doing an inventory, so to speak. So I guess I'm pulling things out of my backpack and kind of stacking them and going over everything that I have.
Wow, you got a lot of stuff in there.
Sure seems to add up, right?
Yeah. You got anything in the stomach?
Oh, right. The stomach.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Oh, really?
What do I have? And
He gets all kinds of magic tricks with that thing. It's like pulls out a long string of rope and
A
umbrella.
couch.
oh, there's the. Let's see.
Oh my God! There's China. You ate her.
Comes
A
out trunk
beetle.
first, just like whoa.
It's a mechanical beetle.
Oh, that's the thing for writing letters, isn't it? The
Oh, of
encoded
course,
letter beetle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got a broken spider bot. Well, a dead
Oh
spider bot.
yeah,
It
I
still
remember
hasn't
those.
been disassembled.
It's like going through an owl's pellet.
That seems like so long ago.
Broken things.
Are you looking for something specific?
It's a handful of these seeds. Little bulby seeds. And a bright blue medicine tablet.
Huh. Are you looking for something or?
Yeah, it's at the tip of my tongue. It seems like something's been missing, has gone missing.
What does it feel like?
Maybe it's related to when I was, being passive for a while. You guys were moving me around. It's like I'm forgetting things all of a sudden. There's
Yeah.
kind of a gap where we had that circlet.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Where did
We
we
have.
put that?
I have that.
You have it.
Yep.
Why did I think it was in one of my bags? It's weird. This is empty now, but I mean, I've got everything in here.
Nope. I have it. You know what I've been looking for? I've been
What?
looking for that diamond that has Rupino in it. I don't even remember where we put it.
It's not in my bag. Not in my stomach.
I thought I was carrying it, but I don't seem to have it written down that way.
Maybe it's in the tower. I don't know.
Well,
Sometimes I want to let him out. Like I really, really want to. But nobody else seems to want to.
Interesting.
I feel like he would have a lot of the answers that Nedry wants.
Hmm.
Why did you want the circlet?
Well, I had a thought about it. Really, I just wanted to look at it again. I thought I remembered seeing some detail, like possibly some writing on it.
Hmm. Do you want to look at it? I mean,
Yeah.
I can take it out. All right. I'm going to take it out of my bag with the secret password that I say very quietly so that no one else can hear me. Even though it's just the two of us.
Yep.
Because because they're kind of acting a little strange. Like dumping all the stuff out of the bag and everything and like talking about the circlet for the first time in a while, so I'm kind of leery. But I'll like hold it up so you can look at it.
That's kind of squint, looking around it, and reach out for it. You mind?
I don't know. Nedry probably would be mad if I did. Like, he told me I wasn't allowed to really play with it or anything. I just keep it in here for Nedry.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, I'm absolutely not going to put it on or anything. I'm not going to experiment on it.
Insight check. 3. I believe you so hard that I just hand it over. I'm like, okay. Here you go.
And I've got my different kits.
Just
Oh,
don't
that's
tell-
right. Tinker kit. I've got like a jeweler's loop and a magnifier. And
Just don't tell Nedry I let you play with it without him looking because.
well, he gets so jealous if I were to learn anything without
I
him
know.
first.
You'll have to tell him that you were touching it and that you might have learned something. I don't know.
Anything gleamed, would be for all of our benefits.
So what are you doing with it?
So, I'm looking and turning it and looking. I have this magnifying and look around, and there's like, we've got a little table space here.
Mhm.
Set it down on the table. And step back just a little bit, get a different perspective. It can almost see something. I can almost read something.
So, Zaylene, as you watch, Sequential sets it down on the table and kind of backs away from it, kind of studying it for a minute. And then he kind of sort of shivers for a moment. And as you watch, the circlet vanishes.
What did you do?
sequential, you are yourself again.
What did you just do?
Did
with
I
it?
just wake up or
Well, I think
did I know?
you know everything that
Right.
just happened.
Gotcha. That
What did you do?
that wasn't me.
Oh, I take it back. You don't
What?
know everything that just happened. You,
Okay.
for a moment, were aware of yourself being in a tiny container somewhere dark.
Ah,
You know that you were in there for a while, and now
Right.
suddenly you're back here again.
right. So yeah, my reaction is, what happened? Where?
You
Oh,
just
I'm
took
sorry. I'm sorry. I must have fallen asleep.
No, you were talking to me the whole time and you took the circlet and then made it disappear. What did you do with it?
The circlet.
You said you weren't going to take it. You were just trying to learn something from it and that you could maybe read or see something. And you put it down on the table and it disappeared. Where did it go?
The last thing I remember is us standing watch and then going to sleep.
And so, as this mystery lingers, Circlet has just vanished. I think we will end our session here for tonight.
Oh, that can't be bad at all.
I think just a quick roll call. Do we have everybody for next week? What's our situation for next week?
I do believe.
I'm not sure yet.
I believe I can make it.
I think I can, but I'm not 100% sure.
Tentatively, the plan is that we will return next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So many
many
levels.
Jay Turkle's been stolen. Ah!